Chika Mbonu is with us, a Rise business analyst. Chika, thank you for joining us. I really appreciate you coming out of the house because everybody has been staying home. You've talked a lot about cost of living. What do you make of what you've seen so far?
When we talk about Nigeria, sometimes it's sad commentary because you will hear people say that we are not supposed to be suffering the way we are suffering.
Right.
This is a nation that is... I'm just tired of talking about it on this program.
Of course, I know.
We're a nation that is endowed with, literally every kind of wealth that God has blessed us with. But, since time immemorial, let me speak that kind of English.
Yes.
We have been buffeted with, poor management of the economy, poor management of our resources. Even the situation that we face today, I used to be very reserved.
Yes.
Wondering whether I'm being too aggressive when I attack the sub-national government. You heard what, I don't know if you read what Governor Sule of Nasarawa State government said, that one of the things that citizens, we're talking about this strike.
Yes.
And he was saying that one of the things the citizens should do is to go back to the states and ask their state governors, what have they done with the revenues that have been becoming multiples to the states compared to what used to come. That for his state, he mentioned the things they've been doing.
Yep.
That have created employment and put resources in the hands of people. I thought about it here several times in this program, and I said one of the things we have been endowed with is land, so much land. Instead of looking for sophisticated jobs in offices and people, the governors can make agriculture more interesting.
Yes.
The other things in IT, there's so many things people can do. So you see a lot of states now and much richer than they were 1 year, 2 years ago, but the standard of living has gotten worse and worse. So is fuel, can fuel become 100 naira? In our desire, to push the boundaries, there's also some dose of realism. To have to introduce some of these things.
Right.
One of the things that, let it not be like the story of the hen that laid the golden egg.
Yeah.
You just kill the egg, kill the hen so you can get all the egg. If you want to get full at 100 naira, maybe the refineries will not work.
Right.
After selling the stock that you have, you may not have another stock to sell. So there's a lot to be done. And with what happened in the last 2-3 days or the last 1 week, trying to, by the government side, trying to moderate this protest,
yes,
you can know that, if they have been consistently be doing all those things, the life of citizens would have been much better.
I think we're going to go back to Port Harcourt now. Andy Omano is our correspondent on the ground. Andy, can you hear me? I saw you at the roundabout with gentlemen waving flags. What's the situation in Port Harcourt in Rivers State?
From the main entrance to Government House, where youths in their thousands, they are here this morning when we set out before my colleague Mary Shinda handed over the reportorial baton to me. We were here earlier on and it was like a graveyard. That was at about 9:30 to 10. But this, as we speak, the entire main entrance to Government House has been overtaken by protesters. But the good news about it is the entire system is fortified. You have men of the Nigeria police, men of the civil defense who are here to ensure that there is no breakdown of law and order. But the protesters in their hundreds are insisting on one thing. They want to talk to the governor of the state, whom they refer to as their father. They want to talk to Governor Fubara, who to them must talk to them now in order to communicate their message to Mr. President concerning the hardship that Nigerians are experiencing as we speak. So as we speak, you can hear the noise in the background. The entire main entrance to Government House is filled up. They defy the rain. I must add that quickly, Rotus, that they defy the rain. That is why you see me under an umbrella. it is trying to, the heavens have opened its voice, but these protesters will not allow any rain to deter them. They are insisting that they want to meet with Mr. Governor in the person of Similaye Fubara to address them over the hardship that Nigerians are currently going through. But earlier on, we had interviewed a couple of them who insist that, one, they want the fuel price reduced. They've also called for the government to make sure that there is subsidy on foodstuff, as it were, because that where the rich go to buy is also the same market they are equally going to buy. Over to you, Rotus.
Andy, thank you so much for the breakdown there. So look, I remember during the NSARS protest in Lagos, Governor Sanwo-Olu actually came out to meet the protesters at one point. In other parts of the city, there were representatives were sent out. What's the response from the Fubara administration? Have you heard from anyone? Is anyone going to come out and talk to them, a liaison or anything like that? What is the feedback from government, or have you heard nothing at all so far?
Okay, yes, very likely, very, very likely that there is going to be a representative of the governor to come address these protesters. I see that happening, though we are yet to see anybody, but they are here in front of the government house. I'm talking, Rotus, from the benefit of hindsight. I've had the opportunity of covering several protests here in Rivers State, specifically Port Harcourt, the River State capital, and in Government House here, the main entrance. What usually happens is, if the head of service is not coming to address the protesters, one or two key government officials, the Secretary to State Government, will do. And I think these protesters are looking forward to the governor sending a representative to talk to them on his behalf. If that doesn't happen, I don't think they will take it lightly, because they want to hear from the governor. But I have with me here, I don't know if we have ample time to do this quickly. I have one of the leaders of the protesters who I'm going to bring on camera right away to tell us specifically from the horse's mouth why they are protesting and why they are in front of Government House here, even after when the governor had addressed different organizations yesterday to say, look, we can understand your plight, but please tarry, don't hit the street by way of protest. Can I have Gogo Wellington?
Yes, please.
Yeah,
yes.
Gogo Wellington.
Yes.
Gogo Wellington is one of the organizers of the protest. Gogo, that's your camera.
Good afternoon, Omano. Good afternoon. I want to correct that. I am not one of the organizers. I am a protester, like every other person. So for the main purpose for this protest is, as the name implies, a move to end bad governance. We have witnessed the continuous widening of the gap between the ruling class and the people. The continuous inflation, it has become so bad that people find it very hard to even afford a single meal a day. And the government is not sensitive to the plight of the common man. No matter what the people say, no matter the agenda the people push, the government gives an adamant ear. They keep approving billions and billions and billions for their personal consumption when the common man cannot even afford a meal a day. The common man cannot pay his transport fare to and from work. You see them contending so much when it has to do with minimum wage, but when it has to do with their own allocations, when it has to do with their own collections, they don't tone it down. We protested and argued against the approval of millions of naira for vehicles for National Assembly members. They went ahead to approve it. We protested against the authorization of billions of naira for the renovation of the House of the Vice President, about 20 billion naira for renovation of the House of the Vice President. They went ahead to do it. Allocations keep coming up abruptly without consideration for the common man. So what place does the common man have? We want a renegotiation of this entire exchange. The people do not matter. So we want to matter in the scheme of things. The Nigerian people want to matter in the scheme of things. That's why we're here. And we are not really interested in the governor coming out to address us, because our brunt is not with the governor. This is the seat of power in Rivers State. We're just here. It has a symbolism of our recognition of the seat of power in Rivers State, but this is not our center. we're not really interested because the governor cannot address the issues that we have brought to the fore. We are addressing these issues to the president of Nigeria. This is a Hail Mary call. Nigerians are suffering, Nigerians are starving, and something needs to be done urgently to address the ordeals of the common man in Nigeria.
Thank you so much, Gogo. That's Gogo Wellington
Omano.
from here. He just corrected me that he's not one of the organizers of the protest, but he's actually a protester. Lotus, that is what seems to be going on here. As we speak now, that is the propensity. And so we'll get across to you because for you, everything we would run with.
Right.
And we are still here, keeping a pace on what
Omano,
we
can
get. But
Yeah.
they are here.
Can you quickly,
Yes.
wait, I really need you to ask him this question here because he seems to be completely absolving the executive governor of Rivers State that has a state budget for the indigenes of Rivers State. He's skipping over him and saying this is going to the federal government. Rivers State gets a FAC allocation. In fact, I think it's the third highest FAC allocation after Lagos and Delta State. So can you please ask Gogo, how is it that he can completely ignore Rivers and say, we're not here for the governor and this is for the federal government? I really need to get some clarity from him on that.
Okay, Gogo, the question to you. Several allocations have come. What do you make of the allocations that have come from the federal government to Rivers State? Have they been well expended? I want you to answer to that while you face the camera.
You know, because of the disharmony in Rivers State and the continuous interference of the center in the affairs of Rivers State, it is so difficult to ascertain the state of things. When it comes to distribution of palliatives, we don't want palliatives. We don't want things to be sent to us like we're a charity case. We're not a charity case. We want institutional change, a change that comes from the top to the bottom, a change that is representative of the ideology of decentralization that we have been talking about, the unbundling of the limited liability company called Nigeria, because we need to decentralize and reduce the weight on the federal government. Let those at the localities take more decisions when it has to do with the affairs of governance in Rivers State. We cannot at the end of the day keep referring to presidency when it comes to issues that can be handled locally. Let issues that can be handled locally be put down to the people at the local level to handle their affairs. Exclusive lists should just contain things like defense and other issues that the presidency should concern themselves with, like external relations and all that. But as per Rivers State here, for now, we want a decentralization, unbundling of the national structure, of the current structure that exists, which condones corruption, which enables the center to keep pilfering and emptying our vault of the as Niger Delta people. We are Niger Delta people. We fund the center. So what is present here should be representative of the wealth that we have in store in the Niger Delta. So, but what is currently going on is not representative of that. Go to the communities. You hardly find amenities. There is no power outside majority of the local government, outside Rivers State. Yet we say we are the center. We have oil. We have all what? We fund the national budget, but we cannot be bold enough to say we have amenities to actually represent the fact that we are the treasure base of the nation. So what we are talking about is the renegotiation of this structure we call Nigeria.
Thank you so much, Gogo. And so, Rotus, that's Gogo Wellington for you. You may have put it in perspective the way you want it, but like I told you earlier on, when we were here in the first running, there was no crowd here, but here we are, still in front of the government house. The crowd has amassed here, and they are demanding for one thing, that can this hardship be a little bit softened by the Nigerian government. They have said it. They are not here to meet Mr. Governor. They are here as a symbolism, the fact that this is the seat of government. They are here to drive with a point, and they are looking forward to a situation where government at the center will indeed listen and hearken to the plight of the ordinary Nigerian who is in the street. Over to you.
Thank you.
Rotus.
Thank you so much, Andy Omano on this on a rainy day in Port Harcourt in Rivers State. Thank you so much, Andy. We appreciate it. We'll come back to you later in the day. Chika, I really want your thoughts on this because the whole dynamic of our skipping the governor, we're not going to talk to Fubara, we won't talk to the federal government. Please, what? Because you just talked about governors a few minutes ago.
I think it's the lack of understanding and appreciation of the way the governance structure of Nigeria is organized. And from beginning, apart from the comments he's making about what should reside with the federal government of Nigeria and what should be hosted by the states and local government. That's for politicians to play around.
Yeah.
But the issue, it has to do again, like what I'm talking about, that the states get so much and local government get so much allocation.
Right.
And what have they been doing with it? No, hitherto, before the Supreme Court judgment, we all knew what is happening to local government allocations.
Yes.
Whenever they come, they enter into the purse of the capo, the titi of the state,
Yeah.
and then they dispense of it whatever they like. And the kind of things local government should do, they don't do them. Infant mortality, some of these maternity homes, and even the earth roads, nothing is done. Water, nothing is provided. So the issue is that states are getting richer, but the citizens are getting poorer and poorer.
Right.
I would have thought, therefore, that I would have seen an appreciation in the human condition, living condition of Nigerian citizens. With the, we lost, exchange rate. You know how it happens for those economies. The exchange rate, we knew all from the beginning, the exchange rate was going to balloon the revenue earnings of states.
Yes.
Even though it's going to transfer inflation to the citizens.
Yes.
So we are hoping that the revenues that, accrue to the states now, higher revenues, they will use it to moderate the effects of this inflation. Now, see, Rotus, I like doing analogies.
Of course.
If you have a major surgery, the doctors don't just say, oh, Rotus, just bear the pain.
Right.
In 1 month's time, the pain will be over. No, they give you some, medication.
Yeah.
Temporary medication to take you over that period until you get much better. Which are like the palliatives. Right. One of the criticisms that I've had about the policies that came in was the fact that some of these medicines were not put in place before they happened. And what we're just seeing are things. So in the last 1 week or 2 weeks, initially there was a bravado. Don't protest. We'll do this. IG, you have battalion of police and whatever, practicing how to shoot people. Yeah. Then after that, Abuja was a case study. The minister of Abuja initially wanted to punch, kill and go. Subsequently, he came and started going around communities, start negotiating and talking. If you explain to people what's happening, it's easier to bear. And then let me tie it into. When I say if you explain to people what's happening, it's easier to bear. Let me tie it into what I call the optics.
Yes.
The optics. Now, let me pick on the Senate president, for example.
Oh, Lord.
He has not, rebutted
what he said yesterday or the day before yesterday.
You guys can go and protest.
We are eating.
What is the protest about? Hunger.
Right.
We're protesting about hunger, not that we're not able to eat.
Right.
Then he said, you guys can go and protest. We continue to eat.
Yeah.
Now,
highly insensitive comments.
And he has been known to make this kind of comments. So what I'm communicating here is that the optics, you tell the citizens of the country, continue to sacrifice. There's some governors in neighboring states of Lagos that telling citizens, sacrifice, bear with us. Yeah. Meanwhile, all the roads in the states are in bad state. You cannot pass through anywhere in the states.
Insecurity in
some states. Yeah. So what have they been doing? Like Governor Sulo just said, I think he said yesterday in one of the television stations, he says, ask the governors what they have been doing with the extra money they've been getting. Right. So the optics are not being right. So protesting is a I'm not damning to politics now, is an expression of democracy. In the countries where they don't allow people to protest, usually they don't associate with democracy. Right. Now, but the issue is that you can always talk about things. Citizens are very understanding. You remember that when we were talking about this government, when they came into play, and I said, you asked me a question, I said, how do they communicate the suffering the citizens? Right. Make citizens be. I said, let the president come out and say this. I remember I said it, I said, look at who I am. My salary is supposed to be 5 million naira, but I'm taking only 20% of that. Right. All my ministers are this. All the cars we have, only one that we'll be using now. But yet also everything I have to do with renovation of this place or whatever be suspended. We'll feel you. We'll sacrifice with you. But that's not what we're hearing. Yeah. One of the first things the new government did was when they visited the president of the Lagos State, he saw the number of vehicles that were in the convoy. And it has not ended. Yeah. It has not ended. So you see, the citizens are suffering, and they are telling them to sacrifice. there's a misalignment of
disconnect
in the communication.
Yeah.
So I would have thought also that if I were, you see, there are two reactions to what the citizens are doing today. I go back to during the military regime. When we had this Abiola riot, protest or whatever, there was only one governor. The governor of Lagos State that time was Mawa. He was the only person who came out to join the citizens to protest.
Yeah.
Because the citizens saw that he was working and he could talk to them. Now, the state governors who are doing something could identify with the citizens and say, it's your right to go and protest. I'm doing my best here. But go and express yourself. The other ones who are doing nothing, what are they doing? Police commissioner, come and bring your platoon. GOC commander, army, come on. That's what they were spending their time doing. How to attack the citizens and prevent them from protesting. Because they're not doing the right things.
Yeah.
So it's just that we are too rich in this country to suffer the way we're suffering.
Yeah.
If our resources are harnessed better, managed better, those in leadership sacrifice more, and bear the kind of pains that citizens are bearing, things will be better.
Yeah.
Not somebody telling us go and protest and then
we're still eating.
as we're still eating.
Well, Chika, what do you make of this? These are some of their, I guess, 12-point demands. Yeah, so you can take them.
I revert petroleum pump price to 100 liters, 109 per liter. I already told you that one, that it's going to be very unreasonable. It's not unreasonable, unrealistic, unless we go back to the era. Even Saudi Arabia, that is so rich, even Qatar that is so rich. A lot of these countries are richer than us.
Yeah.
Their petrol prices are higher than ours. So, unless the government becomes so rich that now we just say want to bless the citizens, and so let's subsidize food to the level, but we can't carry that.
Yeah.
During the Buhari regime, Rotus, you heard me in this program shouting and screaming, "We broke country."
Right. Yeah.
We broke country. And then some people will come and call us, what's that, wailing wellers.
Yeah.
This thing now. So now, we are hearing all those things we saw that time happening. We can't carry this other now.
Well, okay? Insecurity, you've talked about that.
No, this is a felon.
Yeah. Insecurity.
I didn't know that the police can mobilize, and they can mobilize the way to harmless citizens, the way they mobilized.
Yeah.
You saw somebody put out something that the bandits in Zamfara and some other states are actually rejoicing.
Yeah.
Because the police could actually see how they were marching to the harmless, hungry citizens
exactly.
to prevent them from protesting.
Yeah.
So again, it's better articulation, killing of self-interest. We've had so many stories about self-interest. We've had so many stories about why the insecurities continue, that some people are getting from it and so on and so forth. I don't know. I don't sit up there, so I'm sure the president has the full picture of what's happening.
Yeah.
He has all the security reports, but this has to be stopped. No place in the country now is almost safe.
Yes, exactly.
No place in the country is safe now.
There's also something about closing all the IDP camps and then relocating the camp, resettling the campers. Where would they go if they're going to close the camps?
Rotus.
Yeah.
For a country that's not at war, Nigeria is a shame with these IDP camps.
Yeah.
It's a shame. The IDP camps are supposed to be temporary abodes. When a state governor or somebody comes and they tell you that everywhere is secure now, everywhere is safe now, why haven't they, decentralized the IDP?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you get a point?
Yeah.
So that's why, people speak one way and the result shows the other way. And then it's now, if you read stories about what happens in IDP camps, you'll be ashamed for Nigeria.
And I hear the way they look, the state of affairs is terrible. Yeah.
Terrible. The health system, the feeding system. We hear so many underage children getting raped and pregnant. So many things happening there.
Yeah.
People are living, off nylon bags and left their homes. And then maybe also, remember these people are supposed to be farming also in their farms.
Right. So
everything in Nigeria adds up to that.
Right.
We have food inflation. Look at IDP camps.
Yeah.
So that's the issue. This is actually, for a nation that is not at war, this IGP becomes a big embarrassment to our country.
There's another one, I think, electoral reform. They want to probe the 355 billion. I think we should put that back up. The 355 billion that I think has been allocated to INEC or so. Where is that? Yeah, it's there. Well, that's an electoral thing, though. Yeah, total electoral reform, independent proprietary electoral budget of 355 billion.
Let me put it this way.
Yeah.
I'm not going to dabble into politics.
Of course.
All I can tell you is this, that I've always said that the day Nigeria will actually turn, to what it's supposed to be, is the day that elections will be won and lost on the basis of what you have done during your tenure.
Right.
Not the police commissioner.
Right.
Not the GOC commander. Not federal might, or as the case may be. Not the money that you bribe people overnight, and the fact that you go there, and it's a shame because there's some countries near us here, that during election nothing happens, war goes on, and people just go and vote, no killing and whatever. So that is the problem. So if I want to talk about election, it is that election that we'll carry out, and our vote will count.
Right.
There's no legalistic manipulation. There's nothing like this one worked, this one didn't work, therefore this. And then now, in Nigeria, a lot of the elections are determined by the judicial system. All those kind of things have to stop. Let election be such. You see the kind of things that happen. The last election tried, in some instances, where, at the first round of election, where people who didn't have any platform actually went and won election before their eyes opened, and the powers that be did the things they did in the second round to tighten things. So that's the kind of thing we're looking at. That you stand up here, you have the same platform, you can debate, you can challenge whoever is the incumbent, and then you have a better something. People will vote you in. That's the kind of electoral reform that we're looking for. Whether there's a budget or not, but those are the issues. Those are the issues on Nigeria. And that's
Chika, let me take your attention to this. This is live in Abuja. We're seeing tear gas being used to disperse protesters. So you can see armed guards. You can hear the shots now. We're hoping for no violent activity, but so you see there the police there. It reminds me very much of what we saw in Kenya. Although, of course, there in Kenya, just to make the difference, lives were lost there. No lives have been lost here in Nigeria, but wow. This is some serious armed. We can. Chika, go ahead. I mean, what do you think of?
It's something we were talking about some minutes ago. And
to see how they mobilize against peaceful protesters versus,
and it has never changed. So a provocation now can get this out of hand. In this program one time, I wrote it again. We'll try to speak well in this program. I said, Nigeria, the people in power should realize this, that our country is like a land that has been littered, they have poured fuel everywhere, petrol everywhere.
Exactly.
And they're just watching for somebody to light the match. Because this thing they're doing now, the word is, people can see it in their Instagram now. Suddenly it can evaporate in Port Harcourt.
Exactly.
It can evaporate in Cross River State. We just kill one person now, and you see this thing take another turn altogether. And so they should just be very careful. As IG has advised them, they should be very, very careful. Allow people to protest. Allow people to protest.
Well, okay, but on the other side, Chika, I guess we should talk about the chance that this could be hijacked by vandals, right? We should acknowledge that as well.
No, of course.
Yeah.
If ab initio will know that it can be hijacked by vandals.
Yes.
But we know how the vandals work in Nigeria too. The people who are protesting have a purpose. The vandals must have a counter purpose to the vandals.
Of course,
and so just look at it that way. So who is sponsoring the vandals?
Right.
Because the people who are protesting are peaceful. They're going on the street. They have a purpose. They want to communicate. You saw the people in government house in Port Harcourt. Is there anyone that they want to hear the governor talk? So now, when the vandals come in now, who sponsored the vandals? How do they come in?
All right, I think we have. Okay, we're trying to get some shots there as far as what's going on in Abuja. Again, live images here. You're watching Arise News coverage of the protests across the country, and you can see the police officers, they fire tear gas, they are armed, they are walking across the streets, and as Chika Mbonu has said, let peace reign. I can still hear the shots.
Let peace reign. Because if this gets out of hand, There's a report of somebody that has been killed now. I mean, look at the last answer. You know how it started.
Right.
The killing of a protester, and then the tinderbox will just blow up. And this thing can get out of hand. Let them just manage. Everybody just cool down, take it easy, and let this thing today pass.
Chika, I remember during NSAS, you came to talk about businesses and their impact. So there's a productivity hit to all of this, right?
Of course. I mean, a lot of business.
They've grabbed this guy. He says he's a journalist. This is what we're talking about. We don't need this. This is the press. This is a member of the press. The police should not be doing this. The man has a camera. He has a jacket. He says he's a journalist. He should not be accosted by police. What did he do? Everybody there is saying he's a journalist. What is the problem? Okay, good. So the police are...
the senior people have come to take care.
Senior people have come to diffuse the situation. We don't need this. This is what you were just talking about just now. So if you're watching, a journalist has been accosted by at least one police officer. He was being pulled away from perhaps getting too close to where the tear gas was being shot. You heard everybody there saying he's a journalist, let him go. And to the credit of the police, as Chika just pointed out, another police officer came and pulled his colleague away and said, allow the journalist to do his job, I think. And we're still hearing more shots of, I think, tear gas or so on. We really hope this does not escalate. That is the last thing we need right now. Again, Chika, it's and I think the reason why our cameraman kept facing his camera to the floor is he doesn't want to get the wrath of police officers that he's pointing the camera at them.
Yes.
That's the reason why he kept pointing at the floor, to pretend like he's hanging it on the side.
Our police never like you to film them.
Wait, why? Can you talk to that? Why do they not like, even when you bring out your phone, they get very violent.
But you see, the problem is that...
It's really odd. I don't know why they do this.
The problem is they stopped me one day and... we're trying to do all this filming thing. Right. And the phone going. And I said, see, guys, do you know that I have a camera on my watch?
With technology, your glasses.
My glasses.
You can hold camera in your glasses.
You can hold my phone, but I can still film all this thing.
Yes.
What is it? Is this country that we're in?
But shouldn't leadership in the police sensitize police officers that when you see cameras, it's journalism. It's
accountability.
Accountability.
But when you're doing a bad thing,
you don't want to be seen.
You don't want to be seen. That's what it is.
Oh gosh. Look, again, I hope that journalist is safe.
It's our country, and we have no other country but Nigeria. And the leadership and the citizens must work together to make sure things work, this country survives.
Right.
As I said before, we have it all. I mean, we shouldn't be we shouldn't be suffering this way, the way the citizens are suffering. Everything that is resources is in this country, but we'll just be mismanaged. You look at our oil production.
Right.
Yeah, our quota. We can't even meet out.
You have said there should be a state of emergency.
I said, I kept saying in this program that if I were the president, I would declare state of emergency in the oil industry. And I mean, of course, I kept screaming it in this program. And then subsequently, I think the NMPC MD, said,
we got to round up, Chika. Okay.